Chosen one, what I'm about to reveal will validate every intuition you had about those who smiled to your face while stabbing you in the back. Because right now, in this very moment, the people who betrayed you in the darkness are being dragged into the light where everyone can see their true nature, their real character. The masks they wore finally falling away to reveal the darkness they carried beneath their carefully constructed facade. They betrayed you in secret. They operated in shadows. They moved in darkness. They worked behind your back while maintaining friendly appearances to your face. They smiled when you were looking and schemed when you turned away. They spoke kindly in your presence and plotted cruelly in your absence. This wasn't simple disagreement. This wasn't honest conflict. This wasn't transparent opposition. This was betrayal in its purest form, deception practiced by those who presented themselves as allies, treachery committed by those who claimed to be friends, sabotage executed by those who pretended to support you. They wore masks of loyalty while harboring intentions of betrayal. They performed friendship while planning destruction. They projected trustworthiness while practicing treachery. The secret nature of their betrayal was strategic. They knew that open opposition would have been easier for you to handle, that transparent conflict would have been simpler to navigate, that honest disagreement would have been clearer to address. So they chose secrecy. They selected shadow work. They opted for hidden betrayal because they understood that betrayal from supposed friends wounds deeper than attacks from known enemies. That sabotage from trusted allies devastates more completely than opposition from recognized adversaries. That treachery from those you let close cuts more profoundly than aggression from those you kept at distance. But something is happening now that they never anticipated. Something is emerging that they didn't plan for. Something is unfolding that terrifies them beyond anything they've experienced. Their secret betrayal is becoming public knowledge. The darkness where they operated is being flooded with light. The shadows where they schemed are being illuminated. The hidden places where they plotted are being exposed. And everyone who believed their performance, everyone who trusted their facade, everyone who accepted their masks, is now seeing who they really are beneath the deception, behind the pretense, under the carefully maintained image. Tonight you're going to understand exactly how their secret betrayal is being revealed. You're going to see the specific ways their hidden treachery is becoming public knowledge. You're going to witness divine justice operating through exposure, cosmic correction executing through revelation, universal law maintaining balance through the pulling back of curtains they thought would remain forever closed. This is vindication in its most satisfying form. Not you having to prove their betrayal, but their betrayal proving itself. Not you having to expose their treachery, but their treachery exposing itself. Not you having to reveal their true nature, but their true nature revealing itself to everyone watching. They betrayed you in secret. Now everyone sees who they really are, and the revelation is more thorough, more devastating, more permanent than anything you could have orchestrated, because truth doesn't need orchestration, reality doesn't require manipulation, facts don't demand management. Truth simply emerges, reality simply surfaces, facts simply become known given enough time, enough observation, enough attention from those who matter. Let me show you how this revelation is unfolding, because understanding the mechanism will help you recognize divine justice at work even in the details you're not directly witnessing. First, their mask is slipping. The persona they maintained is cracking. The character they performed is failing. Maintaining a false self requires tremendous energy, constant vigilance, perpetual performance. You can wear a mask for a season, perform a character for a period, maintain a facade for a time. But eventually, exhaustion sets in. Eventually, focus lapses. Eventually, the real self leaks through the cracks in the performed self. They're tired. Betrayal is exhausting. Maintaining lies is draining. Keeping secrets is depleting. They've spent so much energy maintaining their false image to you, projecting loyalty while practicing betrayal, performing friendship while executing sabotage. And that expenditure of energy is catching up with them now. They're slipping, they're making mistakes, they're revealing truths they meant to keep hidden. The mask is falling not because anyone is pulling it off, but because they lack the energy to hold it in place anymore. People are noticing inconsistencies. Observers are detecting contradictions. Witnesses are recognizing patterns that don't align with the image they projected. Someone who claims to be loyal but whose actions demonstrate betrayal. Someone who presents as trustworthy but whose behavior reveals deception. Someone who performs as supportive but whose choices expose sabotage. These contradictions are becoming obvious. These inconsistencies are becoming apparent. These misalignments are becoming undeniable. And the people noticing aren't just casual observers, they're people who matter. Mutual friends, professional associates, community members, family connections. The very people whose opinions they care about, whose validation they seek, whose approval they desire, these are the people seeing through their mask, recognizing their contradictions, understanding their deception. Divine justice ensures that revelation reaches the right audiences, that exposure impacts the right observers, that truth emerges to the right witnesses. Second, their own words are betraying them. Things they said in one context are contradicting things they said in another. Statements they made to you are conflicting with statements they made about you. Claims they presented publicly are being exposed as false by their private communications. They're trapped in their own web of lies, ensnared by their own contradictions, imprisoned by their own deceptions. And the bars of this prison are their own words, documented, recorded, remembered by those who heard them in different contexts, at different times to different audiences. Someone remembers what they said about you when you weren't present. Someone recalls how they described you in private versus how they addressed you in person. Someone retained the message they sent, the email they wrote, the conversation they had where their real opinions, their genuine feelings, their authentic intentions were revealed. And now those words are surfacing. Now those statements are being shared. Now those communications are being revealed. Not by you digging them up, not by you presenting evidence, but by other people recognizing contradictions, by witnesses remembering inconsistencies, by those who heard different versions of their story realizing they've been manipulated. Their words to you, I support you, I believe in you, I'm here for you. Their words about you, revealing jealousy, expressing resentment, demonstrating hostility. The contrast is devastating to their credibility. The contradiction destroys their image. The misalignment exposes their deception. And people are recognizing that someone who speaks differently about you than they speak to you cannot be trusted. That someone who presents one face to your presence and another to your absence is fundamentally dishonest. That someone who betrays you in secret will betray anyone when circumstances suit them. This recognition is spreading. This understanding is growing. This awareness is expanding through the very networks they tried to poison against you, through the very communities where they attempted to damage your reputation, through the very circles where they worked to isolate you. Divine justice is turning their own weapons against them, using their own methods to expose them, deploying their own strategies for their own revelation. Third, their behavior patterns are being recognized. What seemed like isolated incidents are being connected into patterns. What appeared as individual actions are being understood as coordinated strategy. What looked like separate choices are being revealed as systematic betrayal. People are comparing notes. Witnesses are sharing experiences. Victims are recognizing they're not alone. And the pattern emerging is clear. This person betrays consistently, deceives habitually, sabotages systematically. You weren't their only target. You weren't their first victim. You weren't their last betrayal. They have a history. They have a pattern. They have a track record of secret betrayal masked as public friendship, hidden sabotage disguised as apparent support, covert destruction presented as overt loyalty. And that pattern is being exposed now. That history is surfacing now. That track record is being revealed now. Others are finding courage to speak because you survived their betrayal. Others are discovering permission to share because your story validated theirs. Others are recognizing they weren't crazy, weren't paranoid, weren't imagining the betrayal they sensed but couldn't prove. Your experience of their betrayal, once it started becoming known, opened the floodgates for others to share their experiences. And now a picture is forming. A comprehensive understanding is emerging. A complete pattern is being recognized that shows this person isn't an isolated betrayer but a habitual deceiver. Not someone who made one mistake, but someone who operates from fundamental dishonesty. This pattern recognition is destroying their reputation more thoroughly than any single accusation could. Because patterns are harder to deny than incidents, systemic behavior is more difficult to explain away than individual actions. Habitual character is impossible to dismiss as momentary lapse. They can claim you misunderstood them once. They cannot claim 10 people misunderstood them the same way. They can explain one betrayal as complicated circumstances. They cannot explain multiple betrayals across different contexts, different times, different relationships. The pattern condemns them, the history convicts them, the track record reveals them. Fourth, consequences are revealing character. How someone responds to consequences tells you everything about who they really are. They're facing consequences now. Damaged relationships, lost opportunities, diminished reputation, decreased trust. And their response to these consequences is revealing their true character in ways their performance never could, in ways their mask always hid, in ways their facade consistently concealed. Are they taking responsibility? Are they acknowledging wrongdoing? Are they attempting genuine amends? No. They're blaming. They're deflecting. They're playing victim. They're claiming they're being unfairly targeted, unjustly accused, wrongly judged. They're presenting themselves as the wounded party, the misunderstood soul, the persecuted innocent. And this response, this refusal to take responsibility, this insistence on playing victim despite being perpetrator, is revealing to everyone watching exactly who they are. Someone fundamentally dishonest, someone constitutionally unable to face truth, someone characterologically incapable of genuine accountability. People are watching how they respond. Observers are noting their refusal to take responsibility. Witnesses are recognizing their victim mentality. And these observers, these witnesses, these people watching their response to consequences, they're learning more about this person's true character from their response than they ever learned from their performance, because anyone can perform virtue when things are going well. True character emerges under pressure. Real nature surfaces during consequences. Authentic self appears when masks become too heavy to maintain during crisis. Their response to consequences is exposing them more effectively than any accusation could. They're revealing themselves through their own choices, their own words, their own behavior in response to being held accountable. Divine justice is letting them expose themselves, allowing them to demonstrate their true nature, permitting them to reveal their real character through their own actions rather than through anyone else's accusations. Fifth, their isolation is revealing reality. Betrayers eventually become isolated. Deceivers ultimately stand alone. Those who operate in secret find themselves surrounded by silence when truth emerges. They're losing relationships. Support is evaporating. Allies are distancing. People who once stood with them are now standing apart. People who once defended them are now quiet. People who once trusted them are now cautious. This isolation is significant because it's organic. No one orchestrated it. No campaign created it. No coordination produced it. People are naturally, individually, separately choosing to distance themselves because they recognize danger, sense dishonesty, perceive toxicity. When someone who betrayed you in secret is revealed, people who are wise protect themselves by creating distance, by establishing boundaries, by limiting access, because they understand someone who betrayed you in secret could betray them in secret. Someone who deceived you systematically could deceive them similarly. Someone who sabotaged you consistently could sabotage them eventually. Their isolation is revealing truth about them that they can no longer hide. They're standing increasingly alone not because of a conspiracy against them, but because of reality about them. People are choosing based on what they're seeing, what they're learning, what they're recognizing. And their loneliness, their abandonment, their isolation is testament to what people see when masks fall, when facades crack, when true nature emerges. Divine justice uses natural consequences. Betrayers isolate themselves through their betrayal. Deceivers alienate themselves through their deception. Secret saboteurs find themselves surrounded by emptiness when their secret work becomes known. No one has to organize their isolation. Truth organizes it. Reality creates it. Natural consequences of betrayal produce it. People simply protect themselves from proven betrayers, distance themselves from demonstrated deceivers, separate themselves from revealed saboteurs. Let's talk about the specific ways their secret betrayal is being made public, because understanding the mechanisms will help you recognize divine precision in this revelation. Their secrets are being shared by former allies. People who were once part of their inner circle, who heard their real opinions, who witnessed their actual behavior, who knew about their secret betrayal. These people are no longer keeping their secrets. Why? Because betrayers eventually betray their confidants. Deceivers ultimately deceive their allies. Secret operators eventually turn their methods on everyone, including those who initially supported their secret work against you. The people who knew about their betrayal of you are now experiencing their own betrayal. The allies who helped them deceive you are now being deceived themselves. The confidants who kept their secrets about you are now discovering their own secrets aren't being kept. And these former allies, these ex-confidants, these previous supporters, they're angry, they're hurt, they're motivated to expose, and they're doing exactly that. Sharing what they know, revealing what they witnessed, exposing what they participated in. This is poetic justice. The very network they built to betray you is now the source of their exposure. The very people they enlisted to deceive you are now the voices revealing their deception. The very allies they gathered to sabotage you in secret are now making their sabotage public. Divine justice is dismantling their support system and converting it into their exposure system, transforming their network of betrayal into their mechanism of revelation. Their secrets are also being revealed through their own mistakes. Betrayal requires meticulous management. Deception demands careful coordination. Secret operations necessitate constant vigilance. But nobody can maintain that level of control forever. Eventually, mistakes happen. Eventually, information leaks. Eventually, secrets slip out. They said something to the wrong person. They sent a message to an unintended recipient. They had a conversation that was overheard. They documented something they should have kept verbal. They trusted someone who wasn't trustworthy. These mistakes aren't random. They're the inevitable result of trying to maintain secrets that truth once revealed, trying to hide behavior that reality once exposed, trying to conceal character that destiny once demonstrated. The universe doesn't protect secrets based on betrayal. Divine forces don't help hide treachery. Cosmic law doesn't assist in concealing deception. In fact, spiritual forces work against such secrets, creating circumstances where truth emerges, arranging situations where reality surfaces, orchestrating events where facts become known. Their secrets are being revealed through changed relationships. People who were close to them are no longer close. People who trusted them no longer trust. People who believed them no longer believe. And when relationships change, when trust breaks, when belief dissolves, people talk. They share why they distanced themselves. They explain why they stopped trusting. They reveal what they learned that changed their opinion. And in that sharing, in that explaining, in that revealing, more truth emerges, more reality surfaces, more facts become known. Each broken relationship becomes a potential source of revelation. Each dissolved trust becomes a possible point of exposure. Each lost friendship becomes a likely origin of truth-telling. Divine justice uses natural human behavior. People who feel betrayed eventually speak about it. People who discover deception eventually share about it. People who recognize they were manipulated eventually warn others about it. This isn't revenge. This is protection. This is people doing what healthy humans do, warning others about danger, alerting communities about threats, informing networks about risks. Now let's examine the psychological and spiritual state of those whose secret betrayal is being revealed, because understanding their current experience will help you recognize the precision of divine correction. They're experiencing paranoia about who knows what. Every conversation feels potentially dangerous. Every interaction seems possibly threatening. Every relationship appears potentially explosive. They don't know who knows what. They don't know what's been shared. They don't know which secrets have been revealed. This uncertainty is torture. This not knowing is torment. This ambiguity is agony. They're constantly calculating risk. Should they address rumors before they spread? Should they stay silent, hoping things die down? Should they explain themselves, or would explanation draw more attention? Should they apologize, or would apology constitute admission? Every choice feels like a gamble. Every decision seems like a risk. Every action appears to be a potential mistake. This constant calculation is exhausting them, draining them, consuming their mental and emotional energy. They're experiencing shame that's becoming unbearable. Being exposed as a betrayer, being revealed as a deceiver, being shown as someone who operates in darkness while presenting as light. This creates a shame so profound it affects everything. Their self-image, their social relationships, their professional standing, their family dynamics, their community position. They're watching people who respected them lose respect, people who trusted them withdraw trust, people who valued them reassess value. This shame is particularly intense because they can't claim innocence. They did betray you in secret. They did operate in darkness. They did deceive while pretending loyalty. They can't deny the actions, only try to justify them, explain them, minimize them. But justification sounds hollow to people who recognize betrayal. Explanation feels manipulative to those who understand deception. Minimization appears dishonest to witnesses who see the pattern. So shame persists. So exposure continues. So revelation deepens. They're also experiencing the spiritual consequence of operating in darkness. They're becoming darkened themselves. Secret betrayal doesn't just harm the victim, it damages the betrayer. Operating in deception doesn't just deceive others. It darkens the deceiver. Working in shadows doesn't just hide actions, it obscures the actor's own ability to see clearly, think honestly, feel genuinely. They're discovering that you cannot habitually betray without becoming untrustworthy at your core, cannot consistently deceive without becoming fundamentally dishonest, cannot regularly operate in darkness without becoming dark yourself. This internal darkness is manifesting externally. Their countenance shows it. Their energy demonstrates it. Their presence communicates it. People can sense something is wrong even when they can't articulate what. There's a heaviness around them. There's a disturbance in their energy. There's a wrongness in their presence. This isn't mystical superstition. This is human intuition responding to genuine energetic reality. Deception creates disturbance. Betrayal generates wrongness. Darkness emanates presence that others can feel even when they can't explain it. Let's talk about what their revelation teaches everyone watching, because the exposure of secret betrayal serves purposes beyond just your vindication. It teaches communities to trust intuition. Many people who interacted with your betrayer had uneasy feelings they couldn't explain, doubts they couldn't justify, concerns they couldn't articulate. They dismissed these intuitions as paranoia, these doubts as unfounded, these concerns as unfair judgment. But now that truth is revealed, they're learning their intuition was accurate, their doubts were justified, their concerns were valid. This is a powerful lesson. Your gut knows things your mind hasn't articulated. Your intuition perceives realities your logic hasn't processed. Your spirit senses truths your reason hasn't confirmed. People are learning to trust those feelings again, to honor those doubts, to respect those intuitions. They're understanding that dismissing your inner warning system makes you vulnerable to exactly the kind of secret betrayal you experienced, exactly the kind of hidden deception they practiced, exactly the kind of masked sabotage they executed. The revelation teaches about the cost of secrecy. Secret betrayal seemed like a safe strategy to them. Hidden deception appeared to be a low-risk approach. Operating in darkness felt like protection from consequences, but they're learning now. Secrets are expensive to maintain. Darkness is exhausting to navigate. Deception is costly to sustain. And eventually all of it comes to light. Eventually all secrets surface. Eventually all darkness is illuminated. This lesson is being learned not just by the betrayers, but by everyone watching. Operating in secret creates vulnerability to exposure. Working in darkness guarantees eventual illumination. Practicing deception ensures ultimate revelation. The cost of secrecy isn't just the energy required to maintain it, but the devastation that occurs when it inevitably fails. Better to operate in honesty from the start than to build on secrets that will eventually collapse, than to construct on deception that will ultimately be revealed, than to establish on darkness that will finally be illuminated. The revelation teaches about character and crisis. Who someone is in secret reveals who they really are. Who someone becomes under pressure demonstrates their true character. How someone responds to exposure shows their authentic nature. Everyone watching is learning. Judge people not by their performance in public, but by their behavior in private. Not by their presentation in light, but by their operation in darkness. Not by their claims about themselves, but by their actions when they think no one is watching. Your betrayer's secret actions revealed their real character. Their private betrayal demonstrated their true nature. Their hidden deception showed their authentic self. And now everyone is learning this lesson. The person someone is when they think no one is watching is the person they really are. The behavior someone exhibits when they believe there are no consequences is the behavior reflecting their true character. The choices someone makes in secret reveal their genuine nature more accurately than the image they project in public. Let's examine your role in this revelation, because understanding what you should and shouldn't do during their exposure is crucial for your peace and continued elevation. You don't need to expose them. Truth is exposing them. You don't need to reveal their betrayal. Reality is revealing it. You don't need to tell people who they really are. Their own actions are showing everyone who they really are. Your job isn't exposure. Your job is healing. Your job isn't revelation. Your job is restoration. Your job isn't telling the truth about them. Your job is living the truth about you. Focus on your own healing from their betrayal. Process the pain they caused. Work through the trauma their deception created. Address the wounds their secret sabotage inflicted. This healing work is your primary responsibility. Not watching their exposure, not tracking their revelation, not monitoring their consequences. Your healing, your restoration, your recovery. Divine justice handles their exposure. Your job is your healing. Divine forces manage their revelation. Your job is your restoration. Cosmic law executes their consequences. Your job is your recovery. Focus on rebuilding what their betrayal damaged. They tried to destroy your reputation. Rebuild it through authentic character. They attempted to sabotage your relationships. Rebuild them through genuine connection. They worked to undermine your confidence. Rebuild it through validated competence. They schemed to damage your peace. Rebuild it through authentic spirituality. Your rebuilding is your vindication. Your restoration is your answer. Your recovery is your response. Focus on becoming someone even better through this experience. Betrayal can make you bitter or better. Choose better. Deception can make you cynical or discerning. Choose discerning. Secret sabotage can make you paranoid or wise. Choose wise. Use this experience to develop better boundaries, deeper discernment, stronger intuition. Let their betrayal teach you lessons that protect you going forward without hardening your heart, without closing your capacity for trust, without destroying your ability to connect authentically with trustworthy people. Don't participate in their exposure even if invited. People may come to you wanting to hear your side, seeking your testimony, requesting your evidence. You can share truth if guided by wisdom and necessity. But don't make their exposure your project. Don't make their revelation your mission. Don't make proving their betrayal your purpose. Let truth speak for itself. Let reality reveal itself. Let divine justice execute itself. Your participation isn't required. Your involvement isn't necessary. Your action isn't essential. Maintain your integrity through their exposure. Don't lie even if lying would hurt them more. Don't exaggerate even if exaggeration would make them look worse. Don't add to their sins even if addition would increase their shame. Tell truth when appropriate, share facts when necessary, present reality when required, but always maintain your integrity, always preserve your honesty, always protect your character, because your integrity is more valuable than their exposure. Your honesty is more important than their shame. Your character is more precious than their consequences. Now let's talk about the ultimate outcome of secret betrayal being publicly revealed, because understanding the full arc will give you peace about where this is heading. They will face a choice: genuine transformation or continued decline. Being exposed creates a crossroads. Being revealed generates a decision point. Being shown for who they really are forces a choice about who they want to become. They can choose genuine repentance, authentic transformation, real change. Or they can choose deeper denial, intensified deception, continued darkness. If they choose transformation, if they genuinely acknowledge their betrayal, if they authentically own their deception, if they really face their darkness, then their exposure becomes the beginning of their redemption. Their revelation becomes the catalyst for their change. Their public shaming becomes the foundation for genuine transformation. This path is available. This choice exists. This option remains open. Divine justice isn't just about punishment, but about opportunity for genuine change. Not just about exposure, but about potential for real transformation. But if they choose continued denial, if they refuse to acknowledge betrayal, if they insist on maintaining deception, if they persist in operating from darkness, then their exposure is only the beginning of deeper consequences. More severe correction, intensified revelation. Divine justice will continue pressure until transformation occurs or complete collapse happens. Cosmic law will maintain exposure until genuine change manifests or total destruction results. Universal forces will sustain revelation until authentic repentance emerges or absolute ruin arrives. Either way, you're free. Either way, you're vindicated. Either way, truth has been revealed. Your name is cleared by their exposure. Your character is validated by their revelation. Your innocence is demonstrated by their consequences. Whether they transform or decline doesn't change your vindication. Whether they repent or refuse doesn't alter your freedom. Whether they change or continue doesn't affect your peace. They betrayed you in secret. Now everyone sees who they really are. This is your vindication. This is your justice. This is divine correction executing so perfectly that your name is cleared without your effort. Your character is validated without your defense. Your innocence is proven without your argument. Truth has done what truth always does, emerged when it was time, surfaced when it was ready, revealed itself when conditions were right. Walk forward in peace, chosen one, knowing you were right to trust your intuition about them, right to feel uneasy about their betrayal, right to sense their deception even before you could prove it. What you felt was real. What you sensed was accurate. What you intuited was true. And now everyone sees it. Now all observers recognize it. Now every witness understands it. They betrayed you in secret. Now everyone sees who they really are. And in that seeing, in that recognition, in that understanding, you are completely vindicated, totally freed, absolutely cleared of any blame for the breakdown of that relationship, any responsibility for the dissolution of that connection, any fault for the ending of that association. They were the problem, they were the betrayer, they were the deceiver. Everyone sees it now. Everyone knows it now, everyone understands it now. Your vindication is complete. Your freedom is total, your peace is available. Walk in it, rest in it, build upon it. They betrayed you in secret. Now everyone sees who they really are. And that seeing, that knowing, that understanding is your complete vindication, your total freedom, your absolute peace. Divine justice has spoken, truth has prevailed, reality has emerged, and you are cleared, freed, vindicated for all who have eyes to see, ears to hear, and hearts to understand.